Alright, so welcome back to a scenario of what if the Confederacy won in the American Civil War. And obviously, this is probably an impossible scenario, as the Confederacy was facing odds of being just weaker and having a massive naval blockade on them, cutting off all of their supply, but they were going to get help from these two. But that never happened, and that's why we see America being whole today. But, anyways, yeah, let's jump straight into the scenario. So, first of all, this is 1861. It don't really matter. As let's turn on the big cities and capitals. I don't know why these aren't already on, but yeah, we see Texas moving in and taking Phoenix or Albuquerque. It's one or the other. It don't really matter. But yeah, the Confederacy is attacking America rapidly, and the Confederates really want to win this war. Because if they don't, the slaves will all be free. And, the whites down here don't want that to happen. So they're going to fight as much as they can and try to gain as much land as possible. As we surprisingly see the Confederates gaining this major city, I don't know what it's called. I really need to learn every city in America. I'm just kidding. That would no. Like I'm talking about every single one. That does not sound that good. But the free states are able to gain a little chunk of land to protect DC. But and even over here they gain a small chunk of land in Texas. The panhandle of Oklahoma rapidly falls to Texan forces, as Texas even makes a spearhead north. No one knows why they do this, but hey, I guess it's to cut off supplies to over here. But yeah, the Texans, they're able to do a pretty good job. They're very strong on their own, and with help from Florida, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, and all the others, they can gain this land. As they even take Albuquerque or Phoenix. I think this is Phoenix right here, and this is Albuquerque. I think. I could be wrong. But yeah, Texas pushes and takes San Diego and Los Angeles, as America is given a massive buff. I mean, massive weaken, because I don't think the Confederates physically could have won. But yeah, American forces are able to encircle forces over here, forcing them to starve out, and this is known as the Los San Diego tragedy, as the world watches in horror as the Americans starve them to death, except in some battles where they have to fire back. And living conditions in the trenches that were there at the time were so terrible that there was 3 survivors. And they said the Americans opening constant fire was not the worst part. Because we know how bad trenches are in real life. But this is like 10 times worse. Like, people were dying left and right because of the conditions. I'm talking like 20 times faster than in real life, which is just terrible, and a terrible way to go out. Imagine getting shot at by an American troop and then dying in a puddle of shit because you don't have the living conditions to not die in that area. Anyways, we see America actually gaining lots of land and just kicking the Confederates' ass just like they did in real life. As the Confederates begin to lose, which is not in the script of the video. But coming over here, Oklahoman, Californian people heard about the terrible living conditions of the trenches, so they decide to rebel with a couple other territories. As where's the right there? As they decide to break away following the tragedy, as people in San Diego and Los Angeles also died because how terrible the living conditions were. It wasn't just in the trenches, it was everywhere in the occupied areas. So they decide to break away from the United States. And the United States having, like, way a massive debuff on them as well, yeah, it's not too good. As these areas out here, out west, are not too good. As the Confederacy is able to take Oklahoma City and the city and the city, as America watches as rebels work together with rebels, which doesn't really happen, but it's happening here. And now it's just pretty much New England left of the United States. As the Confederate Navy, backed by British and French support, we see Delmarva and New Jersey falling, followed by New York City. Then the encirclement of DC, but America does not surrender, even after the capital falls. When they're left down to Maine, when all of their overseas territories are gone, they don't surrender. They are forced. The Confederacy has to fight the Americans to every last man standing. That is how bad this gets. Every last man is fighting for the free states. That is how bad the people didn't want to, fucking be part of the Confederacy. Every last man had to die or get captured. Yeah, it is just terrible. But America lives on, weakened, but never fallen. As we see two massive areas breaking away, and this is a scenario of what if the Confederacy won against the Free States. As they can actually probably, I wouldn't doubt it if they gained this much land, they probably could have formed the golden ring that they wanted to form around the Gulf of Mexico. I bet they could have done it at this point, because they won against America in a humiliating defeat for America. So yeah, I wouldn't put it past them that they would gain this land. But that's the scenario. What if the Confederacy won against America? Anyways, have a wonderful day.